What up, SNA Assassinated? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another SNA podcast video. And yep, you reading the caption correctly, and I have some excellent news for you because I indeed are going to be making an NXT review video, and also some good news. I'm going to be making the AEW Dynamite review video for tomorrow night, and also along with the past Rampage and Collision post show, the post shows after AEW, what's that, Wrestle Dream and Battle of the Belts, and also we're gonna be making the Friday Night SmackDown review, like all the above, like every week, and I hope it will continue for the next few days to come. I finally manages to fix some inconvenience and made it more convenient again. And what a show though that was, like, for being a go home show before NXT. What's it called? Halloween Havoc, which I'm gonna talk about what's my opinion on who's gonna be the winners, like, of this Sunday's pay per view for NXT. But I'm not gonna be doing that until I make sure I got everything. I make sure I get all the information on who's going to be fighting who, and also until I got all the information to collect right here. And also I'm going to be talking about what exactly went down tonight's NXT, which was a total solidified entertaining show. And it also, again, it's all and most of the reasons is because of the women, like in the division, like with these tag team matches. Even though, tag team matches are not always the best stipulated matches on the card, but these matches, like, were telling a story and definitely was entertaining, like, and showing why exactly this is the most prestigious division in all of WWE and overall wrestling as well. And I wish for hopefully the same for tomorrow's video, when I'm gonna be reviewing the other company, which I already mentioned, but I will be doing. But that's gonna be, well, I'm gonna talk about that as soon as that day comes. But for now, I'm gonna tell you what exactly went down on tonight's show. Let me tell you something that was totally great. And we're going to start off with the Metaphor coming out, like, to take on the Damage Control's Io Sky and Kairi Sane. And then, they showed everybody coming from outside, inside the Performance Center. And then this is where we got I start off with them. And I think, like, WWE see some highly about these two, Jakar Jackson and Lash Legend, like, for them being on the WWE main roster programming, not only just NXT programming from the last couple of weeks. And they looks like they're going to be getting another rematch with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And they're showing that it could be a change of the event, like a switch and change of the event, like with them could potentially be the new women's tag team champions. But we're just gonna have to wait and see about that. But let's start off with Jakar Jackson and Io Sky, with them just grabbing back. With fans start chanting for Io, and this is where, like, the way they start doing the roles, like, it seemed like Io Sky and Kairi Sane are now full-time baby faces, while Jakar Jackson and Lash Legend are still heels. But I'm going to talk more about that at the end of the match, because it kind of confused me the way that things ended. Like, but at the same time, it didn't confuse me, like when it comes to storytelling. But this is where we got Io Sky going for a headlock. As soon as Jakar Jackson got the right onto the left side, holding on to her, this is where but what, she had to let go of her. So that's what she did, or else she would have got DQ'd and she wouldn't have earned herself a future women's tag team championship opportunity. And I was like, man, why did they ditch or more likely distinct the women's tag team championships in NXT for? Like, it had so much potential for future other women's tag teams in the division. But we're going to be talking about that some other time. But this is where we got Io Sky going for a headlock, going to Jakar Jackson and an interception. This is where she started hitting some right hands right to the face. But the fans are chanting, like, yeah, Io, Io. This is where she, when she got back up after she got done, she started smiling at Jakar Jackson. She tried to close on her, but she gets dug by Io. This is where then she goes for her leapfrog. She runs right to the right side, but this is where This is where she dodges out of the way. This is where then she hits a cartwheel backflip into a drop kick. This is where she goes for a cartwheel front flip kip up. This is where fans are impressed. They start clapping for her like if she never left NXT like from the past 2 years. And this is where fans start chanting Io repeatedly. This is where she tagged in Kyrie in the ring. This is where fans like Kyrie, like from Io to Kyrie, like the chant. And that's where they got then doing the double teams with Io Sky Irish whipping her right into the right side. This is where she tripped her over when she the leg slide right onto the left side. And this is where we saw Kairi Sane go for a stomp right into the back. Kairi Sane that snapmares her right in the middle of the ring. This is where Kairi Sane and Io hits a middle missile drop kick, like exactly what they did to who was it? I think it was like Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill about a week ago, if not 2 weeks ago. But this is where she tried to go for a pin, but this is where Jakar Jackson immediately kicked out of 1.9, which Lash Legend was there to save the day, her and her teammate. But this is where Kairi Sane reminded her, like, you don't have to do that. Like, she already kicked out. And, like, this is where then she slapped a chop right onto the chest of Jakar Jackson, like, about 5 straight times. The fans start cheering, like, yeah. And this is where once she got thrown right into the right side by her tag partner, the Bougie Bully. Like, this is where we got Kairi Sane to try to go for, like, some kind of a choking lock maneuver. But this is where Lash Legend grabbed her around her neck. This is where she squeezed with both her hands. This is where she got her in a double claw choke slam. But this is where we got what's her name? Kairi Sane going for a sunset flip into a pinfall roll up. But this is where Lash Legend started doing a slow motion arm wave until she got herself right back up. She grabbed her around her neck. This is where she picks her up, but she gets hit with her right hand. This is where Kairi Sane's like, yeah, like you. You think you're the smart one? Like, think again. And this is where she runs right to the right side. But this is where we got Lash Legend picks her up in the air. Look like she's about to go for that stuff. That lash, what's that called? What's that called? I forget what it's called. I totally forgot. But anyways, yeah, this is where then she starts jungling their heads, like when Io Sky tried to go for a crossbody either way. This is where she got Io Sky right on her arms, like into a fallaway position. This is where she knocked over Io Sky once she driven both of them right into the ropes. This is where she goes for a side slinging slam. This is where she tried to go for a pin, but she only got a 2.2 count. This is where once Kairi Sane kicked out. That is where Lash was like, you really think you're doing something, but just because you're kicking out that move, huh? Like you. I guess you don't think you think this is the last. That's all I have. Like in this match, like she was like there's plenty more where that came from. But this is where Kairi Sane outsmarted her when she went back to the left side, which Lash Legend was completely confused exactly where she was going. She gets hot shotted. This is where we got what's her name? Kairi Sane, and trying to throw Lash Legend right to the left side. Lash Legend outsmarted her, throw her right to the right side. This is where once she tried to go for a sidewalk slam, she did not know she was about to get outsmarted by Kairi Sane, which she did. This is where she got her into a sleeper hold. This is where and Lash Legend's like, no, I'm not tapping out. This is where then she got her right off. This is where she tried to throw it to the left side, but this is where she springboards and almost leap dodge over Lash Legend. But this is where she hung on to her legs, but she ends up getting flying head scissors right on the outside, like if Rey Mysterio eliminated her in the Battle Royal. This is where we got Jakar Jackson trying to go for a clothesline off of her, but she flipped her over into a body drop right onto the outside with her partner. This is where she goes for an insane forearm strike right into Lash Legend with a follow-up with Io Sky going for genius moonsault, springboarding right into the left side. But the fans were cheering like NXT, because these girls were the fan favorites, of course. Like this, of course, they're going to be rooting for them. But this is where we got. But yeah, this is where we got. But this is where we got Lash Legend tagged in Jakar Jackson when we got back from the most powerful force in all of professional wrestling, the commercial break. But this is where, and the same with Kairi Sane with Io Sky, with them going back and forth until we're playing until both women knock each other out from playing this long game of wrestling tennis. This is where then we got Io Sky tagging Io Sky tags and Kairi Sane while Jakar Jackson Jackson tried to tag in Lash Legend, but it was too late for Jakar Jackson to tag in Lash because like she hit a was like stepping on her back like a footstool, hit a forearm line to the Bougie Bully, and then hit the swinging neck breaker on the Jakar Jackson, and hit like a couple of forearm strikes, with what's her name with Kairi Sane, then try to Irish whip her to the left side, but she gets countered by Jakar, but she spears her out of interception. This is where she hits a back fist. This is where then we got this is where then she pushes her right to the bottom right side. This is where then she start marching like if she was on the plank, like because she is the Pirate Princess in professional wrestling. And the fans like, all right, hey, and this is where she speared both women right into the midsection. But Lash Legend right in front of Jakar Jackson, and I believe Jakar took more of the hits more than Lash did, even though she got shouldered right into the midsection by the Pirate Princess. Yeah, but she was right behind her, and she was right between her partner and the turnbuckle. So that was double painful for her to take so much hits in this match. But this is where we got Kairi Sane hits that insane forearm straw right into the face onto Jakar. This is where they try to go for a cover. But this is where Jackson gets the shoulder up at 2.7, if I'm not mistaken. This is where we got Kairi Sane's like, oh, come on. Like, and this is where she picks her up. It looked like she was about to go for the Alabama Slam, which she successfully did. This is where she tags in Io Sky. This is where she did a double tag when she tags Kairi Sane right back in the ring, which made Booker T extra excited than usual, and even more to the homeless man in the hurricane, of course. This is where then we got. This is where we got. This is where we got Kairi Sane and try to go for a pinfall, like after hitting this. What's that like a footstool insane elbow with Kairi Sane using Io Sky's shoulders, like when she picked her up and hit the insane elbow, and they probably would have gotten away with the match if it wasn't for that meddling Bougie Bully, none other than Lash reverse bear hug maneuver. But it's where we got Kairi Sane. Alex Tamarted her, tried to go for a wheelbarrow roll-up, but it ended up not happening. But what the Lash Legend did not that Io Sky secretly tagged herself in the match. And this is where then she thought she was a legal woman. This is where she clobbered with a lariat, but this is where this is where we got Io Sky try to go for a springboard, but this kind of botch right here when Kairi Sane tried to roll underneath the ropes. She accidentally caused Io Sky to fall down and crash right onto the floor. But luckily, she was ready for it. She rolled, like did a little side roll to land and break her fall, like if she was like a female Japanese version of Rey Mysterio. This is where she has double knees, meteor to the face right onto Jakar Jackson. This is where the Io Sky that stomped right exactly on the midsection of Jakar Jackson. I believe she was still the legal woman along with Io Sky was. This is where she nearly hit the Genius Moonsault, but this is where we got Jakar Jackson move out of the way. This is where we got Lash Legend tags herself in the match. This is where she had to hit with a big pump boot right into the face by Lash Legend. But the thing is, like, she did not know that she got tagged in by Kairi Sane. This is where she tried to go for what's that called? Crossbody, but she ends up getting backbreakered by the Bougie Bully. Or what? She did got tagged in. I think Io Sky haven't tagged her in. This is where we got Lash Legend when she tagging Jakar Jackson. She got what's her name in the wheelbarrow position. Io Sky. This is where we got Jakar Jackson running right to the left and right to hit their double team maneuver. But guess who come out and trips over? Yeah. Jakar and cost them a pinfall victory and handed them a DQ victory, and it was none other than Piper Niven. Like this is where she trips her right out of the ring. She hits her with a belly tackle. This is where we got this is where we got what's her name? Chelsea Green that came out and hit a zigzag like maneuver on the Lash Legend in the ring. This is where she was like, "You think this was last Friday was the last time you're gonna see us? Like, think again, like Miss Legend, like if that's your real name," and taking the page out of the former Zep Culture now Dutch Mantel catchphrase from in his days in WWE. But anyways, that's where and that's why I was so confused. I was like, oh, now is the Metaphors, Lash Legend, and Jakar Jackson, are they heels or faces? And it's kind of the same thing with their male counterpart, what's his name, Oro Menza, in this feud with Alexis King. Where at first it seemed like it is a baby face, but at the same time, when Alexis King turned baby face, is where like then he started going back to his heel roots. So I have a theory that I think the Metaphor or tweeners right now, as of right now, like especially with WWE, are seeing some future success into the faction, especially with the female members. So I think like once they face someone like Io Sky and Kairi Sane of Damage Control and Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, the women's tag team champions, they're going to be playing a heel role. But if they're facing someone like Chelsea Green and Piper, they're going to be like baby faces. Which either way, the fans are cheering for them and hoping they get pushed very soon. And I hope for the same for them. Like once they get that full-time move, and I think that this is a sign that they're the management and the main roster and are seeing high potentials with the women's tag team stars. And they probably were told that. Like if they put on one hell of a performance, which they did tonight, then their call-ups could be much more sooner rather than later. And do you think that will be so? Once they do, once they get another shot at the women's tag team championship, do you think that they're main roster material enough to get drafted over to the main or get called up to the main roster before it's time for the draft day? Let me know in the comment section right down below. But let's move on to the next slide. But that's where we got. But moving on, we got like after a brutal beatdown by Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Like after they took out the Metaphor, then we got both Piper and Chelsea then line up both Kairi Sane and Io Sky, and this where then Piper Niven did a double crossbody right onto the two Japanese female wrestlers, and I said Japanese, not Chinese. And I hope that Carlino's watching this to know the differences between the two cultures, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But anyways, yeah, this is where they stand up tall. And do you think that this Friday SmackDown will be the follow-up of this brutal attack with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven getting a match against the two Metaphor female members? Like only time will tell. Like if not this Friday, I can assume like maybe the week after that, or maybe even the post-show SmackDown after the Crown Jewel event. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But moving on, we got Tank Ledger and Hank Walker presenting the NASCAR driver and the 2023 champion, Cole. What's his name? Like the NASCAR 2023 Series champion, Cole Melee, yeah. But that's where they show the race car that he drives on weekends in the NASCAR races. Is where he was like, yeah. Like it's still it still runs despite having some minor difficulties. If that makes sense, of course. But that's where Hank and Tank was like, yeah, let's see Cole, and this is where the rest of the NXT universe start chanting Cole, 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 and that's where they gave him handshakes and hugs, and that's where then he's like. But this is where he told him like it's not the same car that's going to drive this coming Saturday night, but it still runs like pretty good. But this is where we got the OTM came in, the OTM crew. Let me rephrase that, including with Jada Parker. This is where we got Hank and Tank. Then gave him a very gave them like a certain look, like if they were not supposed to be there, which maybe they wasn't. Is where Jada Parker let them know that they're not supposed to be there, saying look, he was like y'all in our spot, and y'all may and yeah, you Cole, you may be the special guest, but we are you are in our show. So showed us some respect. And that's where then Hank was like, yeah, since this is your special spot, quote unquote, like we and if you also have a problem with Hank, I mean, if you have a problem with Cole here, you have also a problem with Hank and Tank. And this is where then I believe was Bronco Limo's like, oh yeah, like how like how about we have a match and give a girlfriend Cole a front row seat so we can kick y'all's asses tonight. And then Hank Walker and Tank Ledger's like, all right, like that's fine with us. Like, so it's gonna be official, and that settles. Like you, the two of us against the two of y'all. And this is where then we got what's his name, Tank Ledger, hilarious is that but yeah, but goodbye for now. Like bye bye. Go on. Yeah, like you. We'll see you out in the ring, but for now, this is gonna be our spot for the day, with our special guests is where they're fighting for that spot, that parking spot, on the next match, which is on the third I mean not the third, I mean the second match on the card, which the opener totally gets the silver trophy of the night, even though it ended by the DQ, but it was telling the story here, even though Jakar Jackson and Lash Legend sometimes act like baby faces, but at the same time they're still heels. But I think they're just tweeners right now at this time. I'll say at least in the main roster standpoint, but in NXT they're probably confirmed to still heels. But we're just gonna have to wait and see what exactly their roles are, and let me know if you think what's their specific role is it a baby face role or a heel role or even a tweener. Which is kind of confusing on that note, but yeah. But it is storytelling, with them looking like future potential main roster stars, even though the rules of the women's tag team champions do occur to NXT. Since that the main roster tag team champions, what they call it, unified with the NXT women's tag team, which they need to revive back. But that's a different story for a different day. But this is where we got the next match, which I think this match was pretty decent. Nothing too special, but it just showed that this was definitely Miss Parker's night. And Booker T was more praised for the women's star on this match with her match against Tatum Paxley, even though it was not nothing like a main event 5-star worthy match, but it don't have to be in order to be something that's totally entertaining and phenomenal like this match. I mean, I'll say not the coolest, but you know what I mean. It was it was exactly what it needed to be for being a mid-card match. With Jada Parker really needing this win, even though Tatum Paxley's kind of looking like an afterthought, but then again, it's probably just in first glance. But anyways, back to the match is where we got Tatum Paxley trying to quickly go for a surprise roll-up as soon as the match started. But once that didn't work out too even, this is where then she wrapped her legs right around Jada Parker's waist. This is where then she tried to go for a waist scissor lock. This is where she starts spinning her legs around and start moving around like if she was like her version of Queen Aminata, from last week's Dynamite, I guess you could say. But this is where once you try to go for a pin, but this is where we got Jada Parker got a kick out of a pin once she got done hitting this pinwheel spinning waist lock spin. But this is where once both women got back up, this is where we got what's her name? Tatum Paxley all right, Miss Parker, put on. It's time to put on your big girl pants on. This is where then she drop kicks her right into the upper left side. This is where she hits a crossbody right in the midsection. This is where then she Irish whip her from the upper right side to the bottom left. I mean, the upper right side to the bottom left side. This is where she try to go for a crossbody. This is where she gets caught by Jada. This is where then she put her right in the middle turnbuckle, middle ropes. Is where she goes for a step up into a bullseye bum drop, right into the midsection of onto what's her name, the Tatum Paxley in the bottom left side. This is where she started stomping on her right in the midsection. After she did that, and then she had the step up leg stomp right into the midsection. This is where we got That's where the Jada Parker started hitting some elbow strikes right into the back of the back onto the what's her name to Tatum Paxley, and then where she hits her with this dragon slinging suplex maneuver. This is where we got her trying to go for a pin, but this is where we got what's her name what's her name Tatum Paxley going for I mean, she's trying to go for a pin, but this is where we got Tatum Paxley kicks out of it at I'll say 2.1. This is where we got what going this arm stretch lock with her right leg standing right in front of Tatum Paxley's shoulders, like she was her version of Queen Aminata. This is where then we got but this is where we got what's her name Tatum Paxley then counter out of it. This is where she goes for an elbow strike. Right, this is where then she pushes her right to the right side. Actually, this is where she goes for like a wheelbarrow roll up, which is kind of like the most devastating move in all of pro wrestling. But this is where we got Jada Parker trying to go for a clothesline, but she ends up getting kicked right to the face. This is where she ducks out of a clothesline. This is where she goes for a knee buster right to the face. This is where then she sent it right to the upper right side. This is where then we got Tatum Paxley going for a forearm strike. This is where we got her going for a second one. This is where then she goes for a kick right to the head. This is where then she goes for a step up insecurity. That's where then what's her name? Tatum Paxley like I'm feeling the fire. Like, and this is where then it's doll party time. Like, this is where she picks her what's her name? This is where she picked up Jada Parker. This is where she threatened to turn her into a doll because she looked like one. I look like more like a Bratz doll rather than a Barbie. This is where she spin her around with this reverse firewoman's carry. But once she tried to go for a pin, but this is where we got what's her name? Jada Parker kicks out at 2.3. This is where then we got That's where we got what's her name, Tatum Paxley to go for a suplex. But this is where we got Jada Parker trying to counter, trying to suplex on her own until she got hit with an inside cradle by Tatum Paxley. This is where she only got a 2.1 count. This is where we got Jada Parker ducks out of an insecurity attempt by what's her name, by Tatum Paxley. This is where she tried to go for that same slinging suplex, but what Jada Parker did not know that struck twice, which is like lightning, is hitting the same maneuver that you already hit the first attempt successfully. But even for that, this is where we got what's her name? Jada Parker somehow intercepts it right back into her in the offense position and hit her with a hypnotic. But she had the second hypnotic to put in some good measure. Like when she went right to the top corner ropes, she hits another one, and that's like probably like that's probably perhaps the only thing that struck twice and that's unlike lightning is her finishing maneuver. But yeah, she must have picked up a double whammy card to use against Tatum Paxley to get the advantage to get the W. And then this is where like we nearly got a brawl between her and Lola Vice once the Latina Heat came out after the match. This is where she tried to go and attack her, but this is where the referees broke up the fight in time. But this is where we got Wendy Chu didn't attack Tatum Paxley from behind, put her in a Cobra sleeper hold. And this is where then she put her right into this box-like structure. And this is where she put her right in it, like if it was a casket, like a box-shaped casket, rather than being rectangular. Like, I was like, yeah, that's very psychotically insane. But this is where we got Lexis King then went up to what's his name, Charlie Dempsey, and he was like, "Yeah, you were right on that advice you gave me. Like, but there's still people that are doubting me. Like, and this is where Charlie Dempsey like yeah, you." And this is where then this is where dude's like, no, like yeah, there's no doubt. Like it, like what he said, what Charlie Dempsey said, like. He was like, yeah, like even though I won that match clean against Oral, like everybody still doubts me, like and like about me succeeding here in WWE. And this is Charlie Dempsey, and this is what Charlie Dempsey's like, yeah, like a little bit of change is a little, like change a little bit do a little bit of changing is a pretty bit rough. And this is where Alexis King was like, yeah, I realized that. And then I also realized that we have plenty of a lot in common. We're technical wrestler, prowess, like we're fantastic facial hairs. And we are second generation wrestlers as well. Like we're just a couple of guys trying to figure it out. Like, like what I'm trying to figure out, like how did everybody stop looking at me as like some kind of loose cannon? Like, I want to be a straight shoot. Like, all right, like I know, like. Again, yeah, and I joke about this cup last week, but I've been thinking man, like people respect you, like because of you being, because of your success, and then I bet your own father respects you too, considering that, considering that he said, considering what when the last time he was here, and he said some plenty of complimentary and respectful stuff about you being the Heritage Cup champion, like in again, but here's my thing. Like, I need to win that cup. Like, I need to get that same experience, and to get that, I need to get that same experience to get me that respect. And this is where then Charlie Dim's like, look, like I understand that, like you're trying to make a name for yourself here in NXT, but you really think this cup's gonna change any of that? Are you gonna change all you're gonna change all your struggles up and for the better? And this is where then Alexis King's like, yeah, like it's worth a shot. And this is where then Charlie Dempsey then replied back like, like I believe what you're trying to do here. Like and Miles like go to Ava's office and make this match official. And this is where Miles Boyd was surprised. He was like, huh? Like, are you serious? Like this is where like. He's like, you really want me to do this? And this is where the Vincent Curry's like, yeah, I believe so. So if I was you, I would hit my way. And this is where then they made official. They shook hands on it. This is where then Vince Sinclair encouraged what's his name, Alexis King, to get him a corner man. Well, I said quarter man. I mean a corner man with a C and an O and N. Yeah, of course, double N's to be the exact. This is where Alexis King, like, I never thought that, like, corner man, like, like, who, and I was agreeing, like, yeah, like, who that may be. It's definitely not going to be Griff Garrison because, he's in the other company, unless he left there, but I highly doubt that he did. I heard the last time he's on their ROH show, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But let me know in the comments below who could potentially be his corner man. And I'm not sure if it'll be Oral Menza, even though he has experience, like considering he has Noam Dar, like to be his corner man when he was the Heritage Cup champion. The only way I can see that is if they're going to be seeing the split with the men's side of the Metaphor team, going to be in their separate ways with Oral Menza turning on Noam Dar, and they can go back to their heel ways, but. I just don't know if that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be somebody else that's going to be his corner man. But let me know in the comment section right down below. But this is where we got Wendy Chu still wheelbarrowing around Tatum Paxley. And this is where we got Javon Evans and what's his name? Cedric Alexander starts staring at Wendy Chu oddly. He's like, does she have Tatum Paxley in there? This is where they're in questioning, like how did how did she even put her in there? This is where there's that's like a mystery that they're probably not going to solve. But this is where we got what's his name? This is where we got we got the NXT Tag Team Champion Nathan Frazier and Axiom with Frazier congratulating Javon Evans of having the back-to-back main event matches. Like the first one was in St. Louis against Randy Orton, the hometown hero, and the second one was the first for the NXT championship in the number one contenders match for Trick Williams' championship. But he was like, unfortunately, like you came up short both of those times. Like, and I was not sure if that was a compliment or an insult when he congratulated him for those back-to-back main event matches, even though he did not win. But no, a lot of and this was like, but this is where Axiom trying to be the peacemaking positive Pete here and say like, yeah, like, but at least you were so close, like to getting a shot, and maybe that could lead you up and to getting back in line for a championship. Like, but one day you've been, and this is where we got Nathan Frazier can stop smacking Javon Evans' shoulder, which he started getting provoked of. This is where it's like, yeah, that's why they call you the young OG, because yeah, when you go up and you go back down, it's tough. But yeah, you're young, like you got plenty of time to get some success. Like you're more younger than us, so yeah, like you're gonna be a future star and not to mention champion. This is where Javon's like yeah. Like, yeah, he's like, see, like that's all y'all. That's just what you all, y'all veterans say. I think except for Uncle Cedric here and Trick. Yeah, like I think that, yeah, like guys like you, Nathan, like just think that I'm just young and not ready yet. Like I'm just, this is where then what's his name, Cedric Alexander was like, no, like calm down, like you didn't mean it like that. But this is where then well, this is where we got what's his name, Javon Evans was not buying it, and he was still assuming that Nathan Frazier is just poking fun at him like everybody else in the locker room, except for Cedric Alexander and Trick Williams. This is where we got Nathan Frazier was yeah, you win the big one eventually. I'm not sure about anytime soon. Like with him still looking right back at Axiom when he said he's like, but you will be the big. Like yeah, but like get used to it, kid. And this way stop chopping him like if it was Gunter, but this is where Javon Evans was not convinced, and he was more provoked when Gunter is like when he put out his envious when he sees the other guys over at the other company like started mocking him with a signature move, and this is where he would do what Gunter would have done to them, and that was slap him across the chest, like it's funny. It's where he slapped him across, but you could probably hear that like probably across town in Orlando. This is where we got Nathan Frazier and Javon Evans. Then we got at it, but luckily Cedric Alexander and Axiom were being the peacemaker. They were like, "Oh, calm down, boys." Like, and this is where the Javon is like, "Yeah, that's what I thought." Like, I'm like not so much of a young, not that much of a young guy. And this was like that's what happens when you disrespect the young OG. And this is where then what's he like? Yeah, like see, like I just knew this day was come. Like I knew this was gonna be a matter of time if somebody is gonna be start poking fun at you. Like yeah, and that was completely spicy if you ask me. Like he's like, please. And this is where it's like, please don't come up to me with some advice because like first at your age, like it's because it is where it's because like it's because you're too young and you're way too successful and you're still too you still have time, and this is where Von Evans was like, oh yeah, like you want yo, you're trying to provoke me too, like you want some of that slap, like maybe even 5 times more than I did to Nathan there. This is where the Cedric is like no, like he's trying to get in your head and he's trying to get you in trouble. This is where they show Ethan Page and Trick Williams like with them being we're going face to face later on, but this is where we saw a vignette of Stephanie McCurr when she made her NXT match debut against Lynn Sinclair a week ago, and this is where then she got tagged by Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade post match until luckily what's her name Julia came out there to save the day. This is where we got a little message from the Dark Angel saying getting to places no one has ever reached. Like, and I am making history, which she really is, because she came from wrestling in CMLL and New Japan Pro Wrestling, and even the other company that I'm not sure if I should bring up, that like where she was the New Japan Strong Women's Champion at the time, but she dropped it to one of their women that used to wrestle for WWE. Well, I'm not sure if I've been referencing them, but anyway, this is where we got. But this is where she continues saying, "I built myself up from scratch," and then she was like, and it wasn't by accident, it wasn't luck, like, and then she added, like, saying, yeah, like you hear the glitch about traveling the world, like I have done it, like I. And then this where then she adds that I have conquered Europe, Japan, South America, Europe, Japan, South America, and Mexico. And this is where they even showed her holding the CMLL Women's Championship and the Women's Tag Team Champions of the Mexican promotion, and even the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. I'm like, wow, like they really showing her from when she went right before she joined WWE, like when she was all those championships, like about like weeks before she signed her deal, and weeks before she dropped the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Gee, I wonder who is holding that championship now, which like I said, I'm not sure if I should bring it up right now due to the other company being in competition to WWE. But yeah, I was like, wow, I've seen WWE made deals with the Tokyo-based promotion, but not until a point that they would show that, like, given that title is being carried around by one of the other company's top female stars that used to work for WWE. But anyway, this is where then we got Stephanie Vaquer to continue by saying like, by continuing saying, like, while speaking in her native language, is where she. Here's what she was like, and not only that, like I collected championship rush, like strong win championship, and working dates like in CMLL, like in dropping both the CMLL Women's Champion and the Women's Tag Team. Yeah, I wonder who won that Women's Championship in particular, which I'm not sure if I should be mentioning it in this company in particular, because yeah, these two women currently work for the other company, of course. Unless they work in the WWE, I will mention it. But anyway, this is where we got Julia with. Instead, then continue on to the promo, like by speaking in her language, saying Stephanie and I first met in Japan, standing across from the ring from each other. Like, which, yeah, of course, yeah, they were battling for the exact same women's title Vaquer was. Well, it was like she originally was the championship before Stephanie was, because she beat women's wrestler that became the CMLL women's champion once Stephanie Vaquer left. But it was before like she won the CMLL Women's Championship. Like, it was when she was the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, of course. But this was like, but after that match, like we became friends, which that's very obvious because they both joined WWE once they left New Japan. But this is where it's like, and this is where it's like, yeah, you, yeah, like we became the best friends, and what she said. Like there was no alliances, like, but after our match, like this, coming to the NXT, I have learned how different it is here, and then this is where then she also stated, and then she knew that the only person she could trust, none other than yep, you guessed it, is yeah the Dark Angel herself, and is someone who hits as hard as she does. And this is where they even showed them, like, when they were beating down, what's the name? Beating down from last week onto, what's the name? Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. And then they said, and who has the same goal in mind, like, of joining WWE? Like, and that is becoming, we don't have championships all around our waist at this time. Like, but that is just the only matter of time about that. And, like, and Julia added, but once they finish both Cora and Roxanne at Halloween Havoc, they will be going cross to cross again for a championship goal. And this is where Stephanie Vaquer confirmed it by saying we will be on our way. Like, and this is where they were getting ready for their match against the Pure Fusion Collective. I mean, not the Pure Fusion Collective. I mean, the Fatal Influence of Fallon Henley and what's her name, JC Jane. But this is where we saw what's her name down in the ground, Adriana Rizzo, with Luca Cristofino and what's his name, Channing Stacks Lorenzo was wondering what happened to their sister of the D'Angelo family, which Tony D'Angelo was very ticked off. Like, who could? This is where we start calling for the medical team to take her to the examine room to see what injury that she has sustained. And this is where Booker T had the nerve to say that she must have slipped on a banana peel. I was like slip on a banana peel and suffered such a critical injury. Like, I'm not sure. Even though like slipping on a banana peel in a hard place, like in a near concrete floor, is gonna be a painful thing to do. Like, and that's the most worst accident that you could be in, like in the world, like overall. So I would say I wouldn't doubt that, but I think it's more than that. Like, why else there? Like, she's hanging near like the box-like structures and pipes and those little crane-like what's those, like the things that are holding up the pipes and stuff, and the little forklift. Like, how come she's hanging near there? Like, if she slipped on the banana peel. Like, it looked like somebody ambushed her from behind, and I wonder who, like New Day would say. Let me know in the comment section right down below. And I had some kind of a suspicion who it may be, and I was thinking like maybe it could be the ruler hiring a female wrestler to join him in an alliance to take care of the Adriana problem or something like that. But moving on, we got Obafemi coming out because he do indeed have a match with Crucifino. Even though Luca did the best he could, but it wasn't good enough to put away the ruler, and he just got completely squashed all over the ring until Luca made a comeback, hit some of these strikes. Until Obafemi got back in the ring. This is where he tried to go for a single claw choke slam, but this is where he gets face breaker. This is where then we got Luca Crucifix or Wild Breaker, that's what he calls it. But this is where once he tried to go for what's that called? A springboard stomp. This is where we got slapped right onto the back of by the ruler Obafemi. This is where they pushed him right back in the ring. This is where then we got Obafemi. Then this is where he turns him around. This is where then he goes right and hits the backdrop suplex maneuver along with the pop-up power bomb to get the 1, 2, 3. Winner of this match, Obafemi. And I figured this was going to be I'll say this was probably the red ribbon match of the night, while the Jada Parker versus Tatum Paxley match was the fourth place blue ribbon spot. Blue ribbon match of the night, and yeah, and that totally deserves a spot, as well, like the women's match, even though it's not like the third place bronze trophy, but at least it's something better than nothing at all. But yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, let me know down in the comment section right down below, what's your opinions on the match card, who gets the first place, second, first, and fourth place. Which, for those that are unaware, whoever gets the first place spot gets the golden trophy. Second place is silver trophy. Third place, the bronze trophy. Fourth place, the blue ribbon, and the fifth place spot is the red ribbon. But yeah, these matches were pretty decent. Even the men's wrestling matches were really good. Which one gets the red ribbon, while the other men's match gets the third place bronze trophy. But the women in the match, definitely shined themselves in this position. And yeah, WWE definitely know exactly what they're doing when they were booking them. But this is where we got Obafemi did a post match beat down onto Luca Crucifino and Channing Saxon Windsor until Tony D'Angelo tried to come in and try to help out his brothers. But he ends up getting thrown right into Simba Steel steps, overpowered by the ruler, the Nigerian ruler, I should say, with him getting critically damaged like if he was like his sister, Adriana Rizzo, until we got Obafemi grabbed one, some, what's that called? Some zip, what's that, some Ziploc, what's that, what's that called? What was that? A zip tie? Yeah. This where like a zip tie, like if it were handcuffed, like around the on the announce table. This is where we got but this is where we got what's his name? Obafemi did go for a back suplex, that dropping back suplex maneuver onto Luca Crucifino, back first right onto the table. This is where we got Obafemi did knock over everything on the announce table. This is where then he put a table wedge right between there and the right corner apron. And this is where then he's like, and this is where Booker T's like, this is the preview what's going to happen. I was like, yeah, it could happen because you never know what could be the outcome, because I think it's going to be the total opposite, even though he probably hit a couple of spots like that, like one of them, like right to a table or a wedge ladder to Tony D'Angelo. But despite that, I think he's going to kick out of that. But this is where we got Obafemi doing a pop-up powerbomb right onto to his other brother, Luca Crucifino, right into the ladder. This is where fans are like, holy sugar honey iced tea, like that does not look good. And this is where Tony D'Angelo's like, you insane monstrous SOB. Like, what have you done to my brothers? Like, you're gonna pay this Sunday. And this is where fans wouldn't stop saying holy sugar honey iced tea. This is where WWE knew that, and this is where they start muting it out until they start playing Obafemi's theme music. So the fans start doing like like if he was that guerrilla tribal chief from Black Panther, which Obafemi said he would like him to play his character as Obafemi, like if there was a movie of him, like do you think that could happen? Let me know down in the comment section right down below. But yeah, and do you think that Obafemi's gonna win back his North American title, or do you think Tony D'Angelo is gonna find a way to retain it? But this is where they start. This is where they show the future debut of Zarya, which we're probably gonna see more later on, like of a tease of this debut of the Australian star. A surprise. Really?
That's for you.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it's for you.
I see. A lime, Hot Wheels. Hey, Sam.
Oh.
Grab some groceries.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
No problem. I can get it out right now.
I got
Excuse me
it
for a
you.
moment.
I got a Hot Wheel for you.
Excuse me, Birdie Bird.
Do you like this Hot Wheel? Do you like this Hot Wheel?
Anyways, Assassinators this is where we got Ethan Page heading out to the ring arena because he had a little face-to-face confrontation with Trick Williams, like on the head of their match, which I think is probably going to steal the show. But at the same time, I'll say what's probably going to come up close, nearly, is I'll say is probably the Stephanie Vaquer and Julia versus the Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez match. And this is where this is where we got some very surprising news about the Inside the Football show on the CW. That's going to come on Wednesdays on Wednesdays 9 p.m. Eastern, which I believe tomorrow night will debut with Seth Rollins being the first special guest. I would say not the first one. I'm not sure when it premiered, but I'm just telling you what Vic Joseph announced this past. Earlier a couple hours ago on NXT by saying that Seth Rollins is going to be the special guest probably on tomorrow's game. He's tomorrow's show. Not game, show. Like he's going to be talking about his predictions on who's going to win on Week 8 on the NFL Sunday games, and also talking about from his time in NXT and his whole career in WWE, and even probably talking about the heist of the century, became the first ever World Heavyweight Champion, and Slade the Beast Brock. Well, I'm sure about exactly the entire Brock, but him being Universal Champion and other accolades, and being the second ever two-time Grand Slam champion. But it's where we got Andre Chase in the vignette saying talking about Ridge Holland, basically I'll say what the word to say this without being saying it in a very saying it in the bad word. He just basically dumped on them. Even though they brought him a home in Chase U, and welcome him in. But Chase U is genuinely the place where you can be in a better place. That's only if you want to though. But that was the case for Ridge Holland here. And this where he's and he decided to come back to NXT only for redemption. And together, one day at a time, Chase U was gonna help Ridge Holland that he was indeed misunderstood. But he was ungrateful, and then the first time, he felt was to be a part of a family in the business, and then they won tag team gold together, and that was the redemption. That was the right, and he pointed out that his redemption was right in Holland's hands. But what did he do? Once he lost the championship, it don't come in the redemption did not come into victories, rather than defeat for Ridge Holland, and he realized that that everybody was right about him, for him being a self-absorbed self-absorbed narcissistic psychopath that wants to harm his harm every victim and opponents that he has, and I have on any wrestling show, and then using NXT as an excuse to do that by trying to wipe out every single new member of the generation of WWE, and and you completely nearly killed by me, Duke, and Robbie Osborne when you put us on the shelf and beat us brutally ever since Mercy, was it, or when who got who fought him first? I think it was no, it was no Mercy when he betrayed all members of the Chase U, but Andre Chase got the worst of it in that night, and this is where then he reminded him about that, and this is where then he did it and you broke little Thea Hale's heart for betraying them, and then this is where then Andre Chase could do I couldn't have I couldn't take no more. Ever since that, in this Sunday at Halloween Havoc, I'm gonna put an end of your misery. And then we're gonna be doing this in an ambulance match, which this is probably the perfect stipulation for their feud. And who do you think is gonna win this match in this ambulance contest? Let me know down in the comment section right down below. I think it's gonna be Andre Chase to be if I'm being completely transparent, but maybe I should have wait until I talk about my predictions on the post podcast segment. I guess the post. I'll say SNA's. I'll say post prediction segment. I guess you could call it. I don't know. I need to come up with a better name for it. When it comes to my predictions. But anyways, then next up we got the illegal Ethan Page then came out to the ring, and that's where then he start talking plenty of things about Trick Williams, but it was not in a good way. Just where he was like yeah, Trick, like yeah, Trick, he like about him saying like him being too smiley and boastful, like about how he's great and like how he is, how great he is, and then he's like, and you probably know him as a father, and then and a husband, and you might even know him like as a wrestler, even outside of WWE for over 17 plus years, like in the independent circuit, and finally making his way in the pro leagues. And this where it's like, but let him like that's what. But it's where it is like, but he don't want to talk about things in his past achievements. Like he's like, and he like, but the only thing he did not understand, like the glossing things they had to go through to get into this industry, and he's like, let me tell you a little bit of something. Like you and me, like we had different paths before. Like yeah, I never had a performance center like this place. Like with the state of our equipment, like and staff on site 24/7, like the paper, like and cater, like to me, like they do now, like in. And and I never had like the minds in professional wrestling, like in coaching me, like in guiding me, like in prepping me for a top position in the top company like WWE. And he's like, and another thing, Trick, like I had to go through hell like to get where you're at right now. And this is where Trick Williams like he was like don't we all have to go through a struggle in order to get some to get some professional success? And this is where he's like, and he's like, and look, I get you, Ethan. Yeah, yeah. He's like, yeah, you had your story and I had mine. And this is where he's like, but I'm not gonna let you shame me because I'm blessed, dog. And I was like, yeah, amen, brother. Yeah, you shouldn't let nobody you should not let nobody yeah, you should not let nobody shame you because of how blessed and how blessed and successful you are. Like when it comes to you achieving your goals and to whatever dream profession that you have in life, like whatever dream profession that you want to do and what you have in life that you got yourself into that you always wanted to do for a very long time. And the way they were dressed, it seemed like if it was like if Trick Williams was the angel good side of yours, and then what's the name? Ethan Page was the crooked evil bad side, like in the conflicts of telling you what to do, like in life. Like, do you want to do the good or the bad? Like that's what they kind of dressed up like. The way I see them dressed up, like with the black suit and the red dress shirt that Ethan Page wear, and then we got Trick Williams wearing the all white and the white furry jacket. Like in business, like and yeah, again, you just have to get yourself right back up and keep fighting. Like Trick, like have you ever like got hit with a weapon so hard it tears flesh and you feel every ounce of it and know the back of your mind like you got to get right back up and keep going. And then this is where the Trick Williams like you got me right there. I work. That's because I work smarter, even though I did have my obstacles. But this is where then Ethan Page then said something that sounds totally disgusting, but we made a good point about it, saying like, have you ever tasted your own blood, like, and your own sweat, like, and you got that very salty and copper taste, like that makes everybody else like that just a little bit uneasy to hear this and queasy, not to mention and it happened so many times in my career, like, and eventually like you start it'll just make you start to like the taste of it. This is where fans are like, ew. And this what Trick was like, look, like I said before, I get what you come from. You've been through a lot, you've been busted up and you got here. Like that's probably the blessing in disguise of that. He's like, well, I'm glad you're used to that because I'm gonna bust your ass again this Sunday while chuckling, like while he made a joke out of it. That's where Ethan Page sarcastically was laughing with him, saying like, yeah, like see, like there's that joke. The jokester side of him and that whoop that shit Trick, like in that silver tongue, like that smooth tongue, like you just get to the knot, like and Like you're just just that great performer that everybody claims that you are. Like, and I see what now they're talking about, and that's why you're a two-time NXT champion. Like, and ladies and gentlemen, that is the leader of the Whoop That Air, Trick Williams, everybody. And this where then. And that's where then Ethan Page was like, yeah, like it's all flash and all fake confidence that you're throwing in there. And speaking of flash, like that's why I hit you in the head with that light last week, because I give you a little bit of a glimpse of what's going to happen at the Devil's Playground match this Sunday. Because Devil's Playground, in the rules of the Devil's Playground match, like anything goes in the match. And this is where then Ethan Page like, and I mean anything, like and that only benefits like my man, like and that is and his name is All Ego, and this where then Trick Williams was like, what makes you so sure about that? And this where then Ethan Page then replies like, look at you, I mean that you look great right now, like you got the body, the abs out, yeah you. Like you got you got the jacket like furred out, like you're not a single hair like out of place in your head. Like you look immaculate. Like, and you know what? Like every skill that you successfully need to defend this championship. Like, you know, I was like, but what that got to do with him? Like, what you got to do with this Devil's Playground NXT Championship match? Though that's what I was thinking. That's where then he added saying like yeah, you know, but he made sense at the end saying like yeah, like he said, like, yeah, you don't have what I have. Like that, like I have that devil inside of me. Like I have the demonic instinct inside me. Like you don't, Trick. And then this word then Trick Williams yeah, like you that's not really a lie, like when you're saying right there, like you really are the devil. And this word then Ethan Page is like yeah, you're not fit, like you're not like eligible to be near the Devil's Playground, like with your heavenly appearances. This is where the Trick Williams and this is where it is like, and this is where like he's like. This was like, look, like I know you haven't been there a long time, like only been there for a few months, but what you're saying, like be me untough, like that is crazy talk. Like you like, have you seen me? Like didn't you see me went to war with the likes of Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov, and then former other NXT and then other former NXT champions that was in NXT at the time, like before they got called up to the main roster. This is where he started going down the list. He's like, you see what I went to for them, and then where I got started, like it's being known as the hype man from the past 3 years, but now I'm finally getting my success here in WWE. This is where it depends on, like yeah, like it was like those men are just plain old savages. Like underneath All Ego, you actually think that Carmelo Hayes like sat at home and think that every single like way to inflict pain on you, Trick, and every option that he had at hands, Trick, like you actually believe that? And that's where then Ethan Page continues to, like you think that those men were out of what like the thought that they ought to becoming a professional wrestler, Trick. And that's where the Trick Williams it was like yeah, you're gonna know the right answer about that question. Like when you get into that square circle with me this Sunday. This is where the Ethan Page is like. It was like speaking of this Sunday, like you're gonna see a different you're gonna see a totally different version of me. And not only just people haven't seen me before, and I promise you, like you haven't seen that guy like in the ring like in your entire life. Like not here, not in Impact or TNA, I should say. Not here, not in TNA, or even that other company that I cannot talk about right now. Like I see balloon. But anyways, yeah, this is where. But yeah, this is where then Ethan Page did say like this is where then Chris was like yeah, Ego, you are a lot of talk. Like yeah, you've been talking ever since you made your debut here. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, Ethan. Like you did everything here except you did everything here in NXT except for beating me. Like you never beat Trick Williams, especially one-on-one. Like, and even when you beat me for that NXT title, I wasn't the one that you pinned. It had to be Javon Evans. Like, yeah, it's that title that you never pinned me for. He's like, and like I said, like from the jump, like like you were desperate, like you do everything you can to stay close for this NXT title, like, but that's not gonna happen again. Like you were lucky the first time. And this when Ethan Page responded saying like yeah, like this face looked like of a desperate man. And it is where then it is where then Ethan this is where then Trick Williams like, well, like now that you mentioned this is where then Ethan Page before he can allow Trick to answer that question. He's like good. Like because once you see that, like you see that, right? Like listen to exactly what I'm saying. Like I've been in this business for 17 years, or and I'm trying to find my way to be a champion, and try to let alone not to mention not to mention being in WWE, and after I got that taste of my own blood and sweat, like I became addicted more than an alcoholic, and he's like and again, I will assist you in that addition, Dixon, this Sunday. Like when I come back, I take back what's mine, like a line that Roman Reigns starting to make famous in 2024, of trying to win back his title that he lost to a temporary ally that he's probably going to eventually turn into his enemy, right back down the lines for the championship. But anyway, this is where we got Ethan Page is let's play in the Devil's Playground in October 25th, not 5th, and October 27th, actually. Yeah, October 27th. This is where and the first time, this is actually going to be somebody going to walk you through hell, and we're going to play by the Devil's rules. And also known as Ego's rules, also known as my rules. And then this is where then Trick Williams then went face to face with Ethan Page. He's like, well, I'm looking forward to it, Ego. And this is where he dropped the microphone. This is where then he fixed up his jacket. This is where this music started playing. And who do you think is gonna who's gonna walk out of the Devil's Playground this Sunday at Halloween Havoc is the NXT champion? And do you think it's gonna be Ethan or do you think it's gonna be Trick? Let me know down in the comment section right down below. But this is where we got the Fatal Influence. Then ran into the Reform Alliance of Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, but this time as heels. And this is where then. And this is where they're like, and it's where they're like, oh, these girls, they have the nerve of thinking that they're the captain of this women's division ship when we were been the backbone for the last 2 years. And it's where Kalani Jordan's like, yeah, you know what, Roxanne, I agree with you as a fellow champion here in NXT. Y'all have been controlling the women's division from the past 2 or 3 years, and just where she was like, and I can feel that you're nervous because it's slipping through your little fingers. But anyway, which one of you Fatal Influence brats that I'm going to be facing this Sunday? That's what they gave a confirmation and specific answer onto that question, because it was like you wondering who's going to be what. And this where then Fallon Henley was like, well, that's too bad, because once you have control, you don't just give it up to anybody. And this is where then Jones what's his name? What's her name? Kalani Jordan was like, well, I don't really care. I'm just gonna wait until until y'all spin the wheel after y'all's match against Vicker and Julia. This is where then JC James you bet we're going to spin the wheel, and wherever it lands on is going to determine who you're going to face this Sunday. This is where Klein Joe's like, okay, that's how it's going to be. This is where Cora Jade's like, I didn't try to push her away. She was like, okay, you're too close to us, personal space. And this is where Kalani Jordan, I guess, walked away after that once they were in this little kitchen area. But this is where we got a backstage segment with Carmen Petrovic, Brentley Reese, and Soruka, both doing trio training together, like until we got what's his name? Ashante the Adonis came in. This is where he even said his catchphrase of Adonisly, like about like he thinks that Carmen Petrovic is starting to feel what he's been feeling for the past couple of weeks with her. But Carmen Petrovic was just saying was denying. I think about a month ago when she teamed up with Brittany Reese in the tag team match against Rosemary and Wendy Chu, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, but this is where we got Sol Ruka then try to make Shante Diadonis see otherwise, and this is where she was like, okay, like she's not interested, and this is where then this is where Sol Ruka did try to really try to ask the questions to Carmen Petrovic, say like, all right, but what is up with you and what's his name? Ashante Diadonis, like he's not even your type and stuff, and he was like on him, like for distracting you, like it just seems a little bit unusual. This is where Carmen Petrovic kind of got offended here. She was like you don't know anything about me, and it's probably best that she doesn't. And then I think she even challenged her to a match as well. And this is where she was like. And she's like, she don't know anything what she likes, and it seems like that we could see a tease of a heel turn, and maybe even a power couple storyline with Carmen Petrovic could finally fall for Ashante Diadonis. They become a on-screen couple, even though I'm not really much into on-screen wrestling romance storylines, I should say, yeah, because it's kind of a little too cringy. Like, and I don't mean that in too much of a or even anything of a bad way. I just not sure if it's necessary. Just I'm just more of a like in the all action wrestling chaos kind of guy. But anyways, this is where we got Sol Ruka. Then like it's where she head out to the ring because she had a match with Carmen, and yeah, and it shows that we could I guess be seeing a future feud between I'll say the Surfer and the Canadian Ninja, if I'm not mistaken, or the Canadian Samurai. I'm not sure what to describe Carmen Petrovic, but I could say So Ruka, ain't she from like Florida? Yeah, like the Florida Surfer against the Canadian Samurai, I should say. And this is where we got Ashante Diadonis talking to the ladies, which they're probably like enhancement talent, like playing like if they're like, I don't know, like it's fans, I guess you could say, like in the role. This is where Carmen Petrovic stared into a glance, and then she gave a certain look, which may look like that it like if she is somewhat interested into the former Hit Row member. But anyway, this is where we got the match starting with both Sol Ruka and Carmen Petrovic look like they're just doing some friendly competition. Like, but Carmen Petrovic went way too quick and got her in a headlock, looking like a little bit too much for being friendly. Like, it's where she was holding on to her. That's where Sol Ruka was trying to remind her, like I thought we were just doing this for competition. Like, I know we have to be tough, but not like too rough. And this is where then she Irish whips her to the left side, but this is where once she try to whip her legs, like if she like about to amputate her limbs, this is where she'd flip right over to the left corner side right on time. This is where or else she would have gotten demolished and lost like all her limbs. This is where she springboard flips, but this is where then she goes back. She goes for a headlock onto Carmen, but this is where Carmen somehow flipped right out of it. This is where then she Irish whips her to the upper left side, and she goes for a flying monkey flip, which Sol Ruka did what's that, like a flip, like a front flip stand, like, and I was like, wow, like I've seen plenty of unrealistic things from the Surfer, but I have not seen her did no moves like that before. Like, even though it was a front flip, like maybe it would have been more like unrealistic, like if she did a backflip. But then again, like, yeah, this was incredible, like, and I mean that in a compliment. This is where she hits a back elbow right onto the Carmen. This is where she picks her up. This is where she put her right step right on her back. This is where she look like she's riding the waves, like using Carmen Petrovic as a human surfboard, which Booker T was shouting out, surfboard, surfboard, like if he's about to go surfing with the homeless man in the hurricane in Orlando. This is where we got Soruka super kicks Carmen Petrovic right into the middle of the ring. This is where she tried to go for a pin. This is where then we got Carmen Petrovic trying to go kicks out of it. This is where then she goes for a springboard once she got Irish whip right to the upper left side by Ruka. This is where she super kicks her right into the face. This is where then Carmen was getting I guess you could say jealous, like with Shante Diadonis talking to the other girl, like, and this is where, like, she tried to go for a discus clothesline, which it was successful, but Ruka kicks out at 2.7. This is where then she started getting more frustrated, like, she started hitting her with right hands, like, if Ruka is her worst enemy, and yeah, like, well, at least she's not her enemy yet, I guess you could say. And this is where then we got the referee had to break this up with Soruka, then try to continue by running to the left side, hits her with the sliding katana kick right into the ribs. This is where then we got Carmen Petrovic then hits her face, Soruka face first, right into the top turnbuckle on the upper right side. Slide her leg and hit her back, right in the back on her back. This is where we got Carmen Petrovic then to go for a ducking of a clothesline, goes for a spinning kick, goes for a cover, but the referee counted 1, referee counted 2. This is where we got Ruka kicks out at 2.8 or was it 7? I think it was 8. But this is where we got Carmen then picks up Soul, but this is where Ruka hits a cold breaker right to the face, and that's where she had to play it rough right back at her, try to knock some sense into her, and not fall into the love spell that Ashante Diadonis put her in. This is where then she tried to go for right hand, but she ended up getting blocked, hit with right hands onto Ruka's own. This is where then she hit a final right hand. This is where she goes for a springboard soul block. This is where she hit the soul body splash right onto Petrovic. This is where she tried to go for a pin, but she only got like a 2.3 count. This is where then we saw Carmen Petrovic then get Irish right to the upper left side. This is where just try to spear her right in the midsection, but this is where she moved right out of the way. Smart move from the Canadian Samurai. This is where did she try to go up on the so we're going to try to go for the top rope. But this is where she nearly got stopped by Carmen. This is where she gets kicked right into the head with a big kick. This is where we got Ruka goes for a spinning kick. As soon as we got Ruka got right in the middle. This is where fans start chanting with them being probably much more of a fan of Ruka rather than Carmen. This is where then Carmen Petrovic was about to hit the slice kick. This is where she was getting, but this is where she started getting completely jealous because you got look at the Shante Diadonis walking with this same girl that he was talking to, going to the backstage. This is where then Carmen Petrovic was getting very jealous. She was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" And this is where that she had her back turn, big mistake from her. This is where then we got Ruka intercepted, like with her being blindsided and being distracted of the matter. This is where she gets soul snatched by Ruka with that front flip into a cutter maneuver, which is called